So Leute, eine afghanische Familie verklagt gerade die deutsche Regierung, weil sie länger warten müsse in Pakistan wegen Visum oder irgendwas. Also so weit sind wir jetzt, dass die Leute, die gerne hierher kommen möchten, aus welchem Grund auch immer, jetzt so weit sind, dass die meinen, dass die deutsche Regierung verklagen können, wenn es nicht geht, so wie die das wollen. That's insane. That's why I call this the Insanity Report. Guys, it's Tuesday, the 13th of May, 2025. It's now 2:30 p.m. in Germany. This is the Insanity Report for today for Germany. And yeah, it's true. An Afghani family is suing the German government, right? Now, first question you might ask yourself is, how is that possible, right? They're not even in Germany, right? They're in Pakistan right now. Now, they're claiming it's delays on their visa, right? Delays on their visa to get here. How many people are in this family? Well, I heard a report from news that said it was 14 of them. Now, there's no confirmation that it's 14, but it's probably not going to be just one, right? And even if it is just one, isn't it kind of crazy to want to be a guest at some place, right? Let's say you go to a club, a nightclub, and a nightclub generally selects who they let in, right? Some people are let in, others aren't. Sometimes some nightclubs operate under the premise that you can only get in if you bring a woman with you, if you're a guy. Only women get in without guys, right? So there's all kinds of, let's say you don't get in for whatever reason, and now you go and sue these people, right? Or you were invited to dinner at your neighbor's house, right? And your neighbor cancels on you, or you do something that pisses your neighbor off, or your neighbor suddenly doesn't like you anymore. Now you have the right to sue them, that they have to let you in to their house for dinner, because that's what you were told by the people that used to live there. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. That's a crazy system. People, it's getting completely bonkers, right? Like, look, no shade on the Afghani people for trying, right? I mean, obviously somebody told them, hey, listen, if they don't let you in fast enough, you can sue them. You have the right to sue them. Somebody, some NGO explained to these people who probably can't speak a word of fucking German, who aren't coming here to work, most likely, right? They're probably bringing a shitload of people. It's not going to be just 2 people. It's going to be more, right? If it's 14, it's crazy, right? And because the previous government, the UMPL, somehow, I guess, made them some sort of promise that they can come, now that the government has changed, now they can't come. Now, it would amaze me if Friedrich Merz's government is actually making asylum more difficult from Afghanistan. I don't know that they're actually doing that, right? But they might be trying to do something. Let's hope that's the case, you know? I don't believe Friedrich Merz when he talks, but maybe after a couple of months we'll actually see some sort of results. And I guess this is like kind of proof that it is at least becoming a little more difficult than it was under the UMPL government, right? To get in here just like that. They've already pushed some people back at the border. Neighboring countries are starting to complain. I don't care about what Austria thinks about it, and I don't give a shit what Poland thinks about it. I think all that matters is what Germany does about the immigration problem, what's within their power to do, right? And that they should do, because that's what the people of Germany want. And if that pisses off neighbors, that's tough shit, right? Then they have to find a way to solve their problem, just like we have to find a way to solve our problem. Okay, now, I don't really believe that the Friedrich Merz government is going to actually do something that will majorly impact immigration. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the SPD is going to stand in their way. I think the rules for the European Union are going to push them off. That's why the AFD is basically the only choice Germany has. If they want to stop this immigration problem, the AFD is the only one that's going to have the balls to do it, because it's going to require standing up to the fucking bureaucrats in Brussels that nobody elected, by the way. I didn't elect fucking Ursula von der Leyen to be the EU commissioner. Nobody elected anybody there. It's just basically an illegitimate body that suddenly gets to make all the rules for all of us in the countries where we actually elect people. So that's kind of crazy as it is. But Friedrich Merz does not have the balls to stand up to these bureaucrats. They are apparently the new gods of Europe. They are the rulers of Europe. That's what every politician, except for populist politicians like Orban, the AfD, Maloney, etc., even though Maloney's kind of turning into a EU shill a little bit. The AfD is the only ones that are going to tell the EU to pound sand, that they're going to take care of their borders no matter what the EU decides to do, right? And if the EU finally gets its shit together and gets all the countries to cooperate and find some sort of reasonable, workable system to integrate these people into different countries in Europe and not automatically get led to Germany, then that'd be fantastic. But until that time, we're not going to wait to start solving our problem in Germany. The only people that are going to do that is the AfD, right? That's the only people that are going to do this. That's why Friedrich Merz, I don't think, is going to be able to actually make anything actually happen when it comes to my immigration problem in this country. Now, let's talk a second about this family suing the government, right? It's crazy that that lawsuit is even accepted anywhere. Isn't it German courts that do this lawsuit? Right? You know what I mean? So, I don't know what the big problem is here. I don't know why they have any chance to win. You know? They've got apparently like a 50-50 chance of winning. So, wait a second. So that means that if you seek refuge, asylum, or a visa, not in any country, in Germany anyway, and the government's now changed, right? And so the promise the previous government made to you is no longer valid. Unfortunately, that's one of the unfortunate drawbacks of democracy. You see, even the people living in the countries where democracy is practiced, right? We have to deal with the negative aspect of democracy as well. Because when people who we elect that we like and that we trust are in office and they make reforms and change laws and change rules to benefit us, then usually what happens is when they leave office, then somebody comes in and changes all that shit again, and now we're back to where we were before those other people got there. I hate that, right? I hate it that's a very negative aspect of any democratic system, because in the end, we're just running in circles, solving the same problems over and over and again. Nothing ever gets put to bed. Nothing ever gets solved permanently. Everything gets reversed when somebody else comes in. Look at what happened with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. When Donald Trump left office and Joe Biden came in, Joe Biden reversed practically everything Trump had done. Well, that's crazy, right? But it's not so crazy that if the people of the country, us here in Germany, have to suffer through that constant changing battlefield, that a non-citizen of the country, and not even a European citizen, an Afghani citizen, who is being welcomed into the country by one of the parties who were in power before, has to now suffer that they now can't come into the country because the guard has changed. That's the way it works, unfortunately. So now they have the right to sue the government, and they have 50-50 chance of winning that suit? So wait a second. Anybody can just sue. And what do they get? What do they get if they win the lawsuit? They get money? No, they're going to get like court-won legal status in this country. They're going to get visa cards to get in, green cards, visa, to get in and live here. Probably on Burger Guild, once again, where we have to fucking pay for it, once again. We probably have to pay for the court proceedings because they probably don't have any money, right? The courts, we have to pay for the court fees that is going to run this fucking sham trial, because we have to pay our taxes to the government, which pays the judges and the court system, which actually should be busy handling like crimes and shit in this country and not taking lawsuits from Pakistan to force the country to let people that we shouldn't have to let in the country. That it's like the shit is getting crazier every fucking day, people. Every day. And the message on all of my videos is the same. Vote AFD when you get a chance to vote the next time, if you get a chance to vote again on them the next time. Because you know that the establishment parties, the people who called themselves the so-called Democratic parties, right? The ones that are actually acting like the Nazis, who call themselves the Democratic Middle, right? They are going to do their damnedest before 2028 or 2029. They're going to do their damnedest to have the AFD party banned. And when that happens, your only recourse will be a violent revolution against the government. Nobody's going to do that, right? So let's hope that the people who voted for the CDU this time because they thought, for whatever fucking reason, that it was worth giving the CDU another chance at power, even though they have fucked it up completely all of these years. Those people may have put this country into an irreversible situation and into a position where, in order to retain our rights as citizens, in order to be able to vote the people in office that we want instead of establishment apparatchiks that are just there to serve the globalist agenda, that the only way to that is going to be violence and revolution. That is a lot of risk and a lot of fucking problems that nobody really wants. So what's going to happen is the AFD party will get banned. The people who voted for the CDU this time are going to feel stupid, and the rest of us are going to be subjugated and fucking be basically our rights to vote for the people that we feel are most suited to run the government have been taken away at that point. Just like all our rights were taken away during COVID, just like our rights to freedom of speech and freedom of opinion are being taken away little by little as we speak today, right? They're then going to take the right to vote for who we want and leave us with the only choices of these establishment apparatchik cronies that are only in this game to serve themselves and another power that we have nothing to do with, such as Europe, the globalist power, world government shit, the WHO, other countries, immigration. They'll be busy doing everything else except for serving the interests, like servants, of the German people. That might happen in these 4 years. So if it doesn't, if the German people luck out and the establishment enemies are not able to ban the AFD, right? Then we got lucky as hell, and then that's going to be the last chance to vote for the AFD and give them a shot at power so that something can finally be done to reverse course, to turn this Titanic around again, okay? That's what needs to happen. We fucked it up this time, thanks to the CDU voters, who now have got voted in basically a leftist tyrannical government, right? Because that's what it is. It's not right-wing, it's not conservative, it's nothing. It's basically a left-wing run government where Friedrich Merz gets to be the face of it. That's it. So his career is already over. The CDU party is probably also destroyed, unless they do something miraculous by the end of their term in office. That's possible. If they do, fantastic. Then they might be voted for again. That'd be great. I don't see that happening, okay? But if they do, that'd be great. No, what's probably going to happen is people are going to destroy more of this country, right? And they're going to do it willingly, and they're going to do it against the will of the people in the country. And then there's going to be another fucking election in 4 years, right? And then it's time for the German people to get their head out of their ass and vote for the only party that is actually going to try to do anything to serve your interest, and that is the AFD. Because these parties have gotten us to the point where people from Afghanistan can go to Pakistan, sue the government from there, and force them to let them in the country to live on our money. That's bananas, and it has to stop. It's totally crazy. I'm sorry. That's unacceptable. And so let's hope the last chance wasn't already taken during this last election. People, have an awesome day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.